So since the last update we have gone back through our data and selected one file in particular, and that's our February of 2016 data file, just to kind of use it as an example and to go through and try to create a script for it, and then we can use that same script for multiple different files. So you can see here in Jupyter Notebooks, we went through and we opened the file, and then we went through and we made sure that there were 1,344 lines in there, and making sure we had 1,344 values. So that way we made sure none were missing, and that we could calculate the minimum and the maximum. Now we want to find minimum and maximum because those ones would be easy to just kind of take out those two values, and so we can make our data set just a little bit smaller and still do some statistical analyses. So I won't go into the code in particular, but this right here is just an example of the Python code we use to do that, and that way we can literally just copy and paste whatever different CSV file we want into here. We can use that to go ahead and find those values. So after finding those min and max values for every day at every sensor site throughout the month of February of 2013, we've made a histogram, and you can notice it's bimodal. So we have mode over here and a mode over here. So that was kind of a red flag, and we're like, oh wow, like there actually might be a microclimate that could exist because there seems to be a significant difference in kind of a grouping. So then what we did was we ran a k-means clustering, or k-nearest neighbor I should say, and so we used k is equal to 3, and so using that we were able to come up with this chart. So each one is separated by a separate shape. So we have the tube, we have the pole, and then we have the ground sensors. So we came up with 3 different clusters in our data, and you can see how each one is not separated by shape, which is promising. So that means it's not like, oh, we had all the squares down here, triangles over here, and the diamonds over here. They're well dispersed, and we have a very clear 3 sets of values. So we think that this might have to do with the microclimate. This could lead to kind of some more conclusions, but you can see our high temperature mapped on this axis and our low temperature over here. So we're going to go through now and kind of run this on a bunch more of our different months to see if we can come up with any more conclusions in terms of that, and see if we can find any patterns. And also, we plan on going through this climate sensor map, which our friend over at the USGS sent us. And so we're going to try to match up these clusters to the different stations and see which stations exactly are warmer or cooler, or kind of feel those different temperatures, and see if we can draw any conclusions based on height. So we're going to have elevation values be able to plug into here, as well as our coordinate systems. We have coordinate system, they're going to be the longitude and latitude values as well. So we'll map that out on here and see if we can find areas that are warmer or cooler than one another, and then we plan on also finding the min and max light intensity as well, and maybe run some other statistics, whether that's the degree days, which is basically a degree day is when it meets a minimum threshold. So let's say you want to where the freezing points, so that'd be 0 degrees Celsius. So we might do that to see how many days there are at a certain location where it does reach 0 degrees Celsius, and run some of those statistics as well. So we did make some progress on our project, and we definitely are starting to see clusters, which is very promising, and we'll keep everyone updated on what we find next.